Alright, section 5.1, exponents. Okay, exponents. Okay, so the objectives in this section is we are going to learn the definition of exponents. We heard about a to the cube. Okay, what does a to the cube mean? Okay, also we're going to learn these rules. Okay, so after we learn this section, we have to know all of these rules. Okay, a to the nth power, then nth power equals a to the m times n. A to the m times n to the n equals a to the m plus nth power. A over b to the m's power equals a to the m over b to the m. Okay, and also we should be able to use combinations of the rules for exponent to do calculations, and also use the rules for exponents in geometry problems. Okay, so at first let's talk about the definition of the exponents. Do you still remember how we define an exponent? A to the 3's power. What does a to the 3 power mean?
A times a times a.
Yeah, there are 3 of a times by together. Okay, so this a to the cube, this is what? Exponential form. Okay, this is an exponential form of the exponents. And a times a times a, this is what? Factored form. Okay, yeah, factored form. Okay, so exponent is defined by this, and then it has an exponential form and also factor form in the exponents. Okay, equation. Okay, equation. All right, so we're gonna practice about write each expression in exponential form. So let's try question B and D. So this given expression, it is in a factor form, right? -4 times by n times by n times by n times by n times by n, factor form. How can we write this expression in the exponential form? We have this number -4, right? How many -4 are in this factor form? Just one. So let's copy that, -4, right? And we also have factor m, right? How many m's in total? 3. So we put what? M to the cube, right? And then times by what? N times n?
N to the second.
-4 times x to the cube times n to the square, right? You guys, so far so good? Alright, now let's try question B. How can we rewrite this in a exponential form? How many -7 are multiplied by together? 3. So Daniel, can you tell us how to write down the form?
-7 cubed, a to the second, and b.
Yes. Yeah. So -7 to the cube times by a squared times by b. You guys agree with that? Right? Okay, next question. Okay, well, of course, I will let you try these later in group, okay? They're not super hard, okay? If you understand how to do these problems, they are just very similar, okay? Very similar. Question 2. Write each in factored form, then simplify each expression by evaluating as far as possible. Okay, so I would say let's try number B, and then some of the, questions from this line. 2 to the 4th power, 5 squared times a to the 7 times b. Write it in a factor form. 2 to the 4th power in the factor form should be what? How many 2 multiplied by together? 4 of 2. How many 5? 2 of 5, right? And times by a 7 of a, right? A, we'll count. A, and b. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and b, right? It also says simplify each expression by evaluating as far as possible. So use your calculator, do the 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 5 times 5, and then we can get a number there, right? What? What do you get for this multiplication? Have you tried? Do it.
400 a to the 4.
A to the 4?
Wait, 7.
7 and times by b, right? So 400 times by a to the 7 times b.
Shoot.
You guys, that's good? Alright, then let's try this entire line, please. What is negative 9 to the first power? Negative 9 to the first power.
Negative 9.
It's itself, right? Negative 9 to the first power. Any number's first power is itself, right? Negative 9. What is negative 9 square?
Negative 9 times negative 9.
Negative 9 times by negative 9 eventually we should get a positive or negative. Positive what? 81, right? What is negative 9 to the cube? Three negative 9 times by...
729.
Yeah, negative 729. And negative 9 to the fourth power. 4 of negative 9 times by together. Eventually we get a positive number or negative number. There are 4 of them, right? Negative times negative times negative times negative. Do we get positive results or negative results? Positive, right? Because every 2 negative number times by together give us positive, right? So eventually positive. So positive, what do you get? I get a 6,361, right? And then negative 9 to the 5th power, 5 of negative 9 times by together.
Negative 59,049.
Yeah, 59,049. So it is negative, right? Alright guys, our next question is, what trend do you notice? Let's check the results. Negative 9 to the first power, we get a negative number. Negative 9 to the cube, to the cube, which, that's a cube, give us negative results. Negative 9 to the 5th power, negative results. Okay. However, negative 9 square, positive result. Negative 9 to the 4th power, what? Positive results, right guys? Have you noticed anything? If the power, okay, negative 9 is a negative number, right? Negative number. If the power or exponent of a negative number is what? Odd number, say 1, 3, and what? 5. Then the result will be what? Negative. However, even exponent of a negative number, we still get what? Positive what? Result, okay? So here it tells us, okay, even, you can write it down, okay, copy that, okay, as a notes, okay? Even exponents result what? Positive result. And then odd exponents result what? Negative result. You guys, have you noticed that from the previous question, right? Can we move on to the next part? Okay. Be careful. This is a typo, okay? It's not a negative a to the mth power, it's negative a times cube. Yeah. Not negative a times to the cube. Yeah. It's negative a to the cube. Yeah. To the third power. Be careful. It looks very similar. Negative a cube, negative a cube. But one has parentheses, the other one does not have parentheses, right? So for this one with parentheses, it says negative a to the cube. How should we write it in a factored form? it's going to be negative a times by negative a times by negative a, right? You guys? This one, there's no parenthesis. So how can we write this in the factor form? Do we do the exponent first, or do we do the subtraction, or as I would say, multiplication first? This is, we can consider this is negative 1 times by a, right? Or negative 1 times by something. There's no parenthesis. Which operation should we do first? Exponents, okay, exponents. So here this negative sign, we can consider it is negative 1, right? And a to the cube can be written by a times what? A. You guys, that's good? No parenthesis, do the exponent first. Then multiply the result by negative 1. With parenthesis, consider negative a is a factor and multiply it first 3 times. Right, guys? Okay, now I'm going to let us practice, okay? So let's do question. Oh, there's the same type of problem, okay? So I would say let's do just 1 or 2, okay? Just two. What is negative 9 to the 4th power? Do we have parentheses for it? No, okay? So compare with this negative 9 to the 4th power. See, what we did is we multiply negative 9 for 4 times, right? However, for this one, we should do what? Multiply 9 for 4 times. Then we multiply the result by what? A negative 1. Do you see that? So it's going to be negative 1 times by what? 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. Right? So what do we get? These 4 together, 4 9 times together give us what? 65, 61, right? I would say 65, 61. However, keep the negative sign in front. You guys, that's good? Alright, how about the negative 9 to the 5th power? Same thing, no parentheses, we do the 9 to the 5th power first. So negative 1 times by 5 9. Or you can use a parenthesis for that, okay, either way. 5 9 times back together give us what? 59,049, right? So far so good, everybody? You do? Everybody understand, Jose? Okay. Alright, so let's move on to the next page. Okay, we're going to look at some rules. Okay, now the first rule we call it is this. Okay, product rule. Okay, product rule. Okay, before we look at the product rule, let's look at an introduction example. 3 squared times 3 to the 4th power. In factor form, can we rewrite this in factor form? What is 3 squared in factor form?
3 times 3?
Yes. Then times 3 to the 1st power. How many 3? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? Now write that in simplified exponential form. How can we write this in exponential form? Should be 3 to the, what is the power for 3? How many 3 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many? 6, right? 3 6 power. So we know that 3 squared times by 3 to the 4th power equals what? 3 to the 6. That's what we get from the example, right? Have you noticed something? 3 to the square times by 3 to the 4th power equals 3 to the what? 6 power. So how do we get the 6? By adding the 2 and 4, right? You see, we're adding the 2 and 4. So in general, okay, we're going to have the product rule tell us. If we have a to the mth power times a to the nth power, same base a is called a base of the exponential form, okay? M and n are what? The exponents, right? So how can we do with this product? We'll keep the same base A and add up what? The exponents, m plus n, right? So we will, that's it, right? That's it. This is called a product rule, okay? When we multiply two exponential expressions with the same base, keep the same base but add up the exponents, right? Alright, so now let's practice, okay? We'll have many practice questions, okay? We start from question C. Okay, we can also do question E and F. Let's look at question C. 2 times p to the 4th power times 6 times p to the 5th. What should we do, everyone? For the number, we have a 2, we have a 6, right? So 2 times 6 give us what? 12. Times, for p to the 4 times p to the 5th. By using the what? Product rule, we should get p to the what?
9.
Yeah, 4 plus 5 give us what? 9. So number times by number, and then p to the 4th times p to the 5th. By using product rule, get p to the 9th, right, you guys? Alright, now let's start question E. 2/3 m to the 1st power n to the cube times negative 3 over 4 m times n to the 6. How can we do this multiplication? What do we do? Number times by number, 2/3 times by what? Negative 3 over 4, right? You go with that? And for m to the 4th power, m to the 1st power. So we should get m to the what? 4 plus 1 is what? 5. n to the cube times n to the 6. n to the what? 9. And don't forget to simplify this number, okay? 1/2, yeah. Negative 1/2, yes. m to the 5th times by what? n to the 9th. You guys agree with that? Can you try the question F by yourself, please? Done? So, who can tell us what do you get for this question?
I got 20.24, A to the 3rd, B to the 6th, and then C.
C. Everybody get the same answer? Okay, so that's good? Okay. Alright, so this is a first rule we learned called product rule. Okay, now let's move on to look at a second rule called what? Power rule. Okay, power rule. So, let's look at the introduction question. 3 to the square, then to the 4th power. Use factored form. What should we get?
3 times 3.
Yeah, 3 times 3 inside, right? This is equals 3 times 3 to the what? 4th power, right? And then because this is the 1st power, so each of the 3 times 3 has to be, we have to multiply 3 by 3 4 times, right? So this is 3 times 3, this is 1. 3 times 3, this is another one, the second one, the second pair, right? Third and 4, right? 3 times 3 is a pair. This pair has to be 4 times, yeah. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so eventually, write this result in the exponential form. It should be what? 3 to the what? How many 3 do we have in total? Let's count. 8. Alright, so what have we noticed from the simplified version? We have noticed the what? 3 square, then 4th power equals 3 to the what? 8th power, right? 3 square, then 4th power equals what? 3 to the 8th power, right? So what have we noticed? When we have
So you basically just multiply the exponents together.
yeah, so power rule here, very good guys. A to the nth power, then nth power. We only have one base a, right? So keep that base a. And then multiply the m by n, right? So 2 times 4 gives us what? 8, okay? This is called a power rule, okay? Why power rule? Because a to the m is a power. Then nth power is another power, right? So it's called a power rule. You ready to practice? Let's do some question, okay? So let's do C. A squared times a to the cube, then 4th power. We have a pair of bracket, right? So we have to always do with parentheses first, right? So we have to do the what? Inside of bracket, we have a squared times a to the cube. That gives us what? A to the 5 by using what rule? Product rule, right? Remember which rule we're using. Then to the what? 4th power. We should have a to the what? By using power rule, right? 5 times 4 gives us what?
20.
20. Yes, you're right. How about negative 6 square, then square? Negative 6 square, then square.
36.
Yep. 36 square. You have to use a calculator to do 36 square, right? What do you have? I have 1296. Now this question, negative 6 square square. Of course you can do 6 square as 36, but without using the 36, can we just use exponential form? Exponential first, right? So negative 6 square square should be 6 to the what? 4th power, right? So 2 times 2 is 4, right? Negative 6 to the 4th power. 6 to the 1st power, we know it's 1296, but don't forget to add the negative sign. Right? Can we move on or no? Yes, we can move on, okay? Alright, now let's look at the other rules, okay? Yeah, so write 3a to the 4th power in factor form. 3a, we have to multiply 3a by how many times? 4 times, right? So 3a times by 3a times by 3 times a times by 3 times a. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, right? So in the exponential form, it should be what? Number times by number. How many? 3. 3 to the 4th power, right? How many a times by together? 4, right? You guys, that's good. Now what conclusion can we get? We should have a 3a to the 4th power equals what? 3 to the 4th power times by a to the what? 1st power. It looks like what, guys? Looks like we're distributing the power 4 to each of the factor inside of the parentheses. Do you see that? So we get 3 to the 4th power, a to the what? 4th power, right? So in general, we have this rule. A times b, parenthesis, m's power, can be written by what? A to the m's power times what? B to the m's power. Okay? Alright, now let's practice, okay? Let's try question C, D, and E. Okay, so let's try question C, please. 3 times by x squared times y to the 4th power. How many factors are inside of the parentheses? We have a number, right? We have x squared. Then we have what? A y. 4th power, right? So what do? Distribute the 4th power to each of the factor, right? Each of the factor. So we should have a 3 to the 4th power, x squared to the 4th power, y to the 1st power. You guys agree with that? Right? Alright, 3 to the 4th power. Use a calculator. Give us a result, please. 3 to the 4.
81.
81. What is x squared then 4th power? By what rule? Power rule, right? X to the what? 2 times 4.
8.
Yes, 8. And then eventually times by what? Y to the 4th power. Everybody so far good for this problem? You do? Okay. Now let's try question B. Negative 4 r s squared t to the cube square. Negative 4, right, is negative 4. Then for the square, we could distribute the square to each of the factor inside the parentheses. So it should be r squared times by s squared square times by t to the cube square. Right? So how can we keep on simplify it? Negative 4 times r squared. What is x squared square? S to the what? 4, right? And then t to the what? 6. You're right. Good. Alright, number E. We have a bracket. Let's simplify the bracket first. A squared times b to the cube times a to the cube times b. What should we have inside of the parentheses? We should have a to the what? 2 plus 3, what is it? 5 times b to the what? No exponent means that exponent is 1, right? 4, right? And then to the 4th power. Distribute the 4th power, give us a to the 5 fourths, b to the 4th fourths, right? And then so it will give us what? A to the
9.
See? Daniel. When we are adding the exponents, there must be 2 base. We must have a 2 base, right? Adding. If there's only 1 base, we're multiplying, right? Power rule, right? So do we adding the 5 and 4 and then multiply 5 and 4? Multiply, right? So 5 times 4, 20. Yes, you're right. So b to the what? 4 plus 4 or 4 times 4? 4 times 4, right? So 16.